Okay, so this is video number 2. We're going to continue on with this recessive pedigree. And what we said was we can tell it's recessive because it skips generation 2 and generation 3. So as soon as we identify this as, Lord, my pen won't work, as recessive, we can go and put that on the pedigree image. So, recessive, which means that all, I'm just going to use A's, those will be shaded. Okay, so anywhere I see shading, I'm going to go put 2 little A's. Okay, so now if I take a look down in generation 4 at this boy, he has 2 little A's. He got one from his mom and one from his dad. So when these work backwards, I have to give one here to mom and one to dad. Same thing with the girl. Okay, she got one and one from dad. That's the easiest place to start. Now, using A's, we know that anything that is not shaded has to either be big A, little a, or big A, big A because of those dominants. Because remember, if you have little a, you have the disorder and you are shaded. So let's work from the top down, going to great-great-great-great-great-grandma way up here. She has 2 little A's. The only thing that she can give to her 3 children is a little a. And we know that they're not shaded, so looking over here, we know that they have to have, the other letter has to be a capital A. So we put that on the pedigree. Okay, now if we go above those 3 kids and we look at this great-great-grandpa, we know that he has to have a big A because he's not shaded. But can we tell what the other letter is? And we don't. So he could be big A, or big A, little a, looking at those kids. So we just put a hyphen after it. Let's go way back down to the bottom on generation 4, looking at this boy and this boy. We know that they automatically have to have a capital A, okay, because they're not shaded. But can we tell what the other letter is? And the answer is no. Okay, when we go to their mom and dad above them, they're not shaded, so their other letter has to be a big A. So what I'm saying is when I look at this square right here, I know it's not shaded, so it could be a big A from, let's say, his father right here. But I don't know what the letter is that this mom is going to give, because either way, it's going to be an unaffected child. Okay, so then let's look at the other ones. Is there anything else we can tell? And the answer is no. So we just know that they're unshaded. You can put a big A hyphen and a big A hyphen. Okay, so let's move on to the next page, and we are going to look at a dominant disease. And this one's not as common. Generally, it's caused by a mutation in a chromosome or a disorder that presents at a later age. So sometimes you have a genetic disease that you don't even know that you have until you're in your 80s, and that's when it will present itself. Well, by the time you're 80, you've already, if you're going to reproduce, you probably already did that. So that's kind of the scary part, and that's how these get passed along. So the indicator here is that it's affecting somebody in generation 1, generation 2, and generation 3. Because in generation 1 I see shading, in generation 2 I see shading, and I also see somebody shaded in generation 3. That tells me that it's dominant, and the dominant is going to be shaded, and dominant is written either A or A. Therefore, I can determine that the blank squares and circles are going to be little a's. So that's the easiest place to start, is always with the 2 little letters. So I can go then and I can label every non-shaded box 2 little a's. Okay, here. and then up top. Okay, now let's work over in generation 2, looking at this dad right here. The only thing he can offer his children, because remember you get one letter from mom, one from dad, the only thing he can offer is a little a. So this number 3 daughter here has to have a little a from her dad. But because she's shaded, we know that her other letter is going to be a capital A. Same thing, I'm going to write in green now. If I look at this boy here in generation 2, his mom up top has 2 little a's. So the only thing that she can give him is a little a. So he's going to have a little a there. And because he's shaded, the other one has to be a big A. Same thing with his older sister over here. Mom can only offer a little a. The other letter has to be big. Same thing with his younger sister way over here, number 7. The only thing that her mom up top can give her is a little a. And so because she's shaded, the other one's big. Okay, now we're going to work in reverse, and we're going to look up at the top. The only one we have left to shade, I'm going to go back to red, is this dad right here. And because he's shaded, we know he has to have a big A. But can we tell, looking at his kids, what his other letter is going to be? And the answer is yes. Because if I look even over at this number 8 son, he has 2 little a's. Well, we know this little a came from mom. That means the other little a had to come from dad. So that one would be filled in. The next one is a sex-linked recessive disorder. And the reason we know that it's sex-linked is because it's only affecting males, okay? So we only see squares filled in. And we know it's recessive because you don't see anything shaded in generation 1. So here, when we do this, remember XX is a female. Those are girls. And when you do chromosome XY, those are going to be your boys. So you can go through and label all your boys XY. This one's kind of small. And then you can label all the females with an XX. Okay. Now, I'm going to give it a green dot to say that this is recessive. So I'm going to use A's again. And because I know it's recessive, all the little a's are going to go on shading. So I'm going to put a little a here, and a little a here, a little a here, and a little a here. And if I look at this guy right here down in generation 3, oh my word. I labeled, this is supposed to be an XY. This is dad. This male got this little a from his mom. So I can give her a little a. The other little a came from the dad on that Y. Okay? This guy in generation 2 has little a, and so we know one came from mom and one came from dad. As far as inheritance, you don't need to know anything else about how these are passed on other than this is sex-linked because it's only affecting males, and it's recessive because it skipped generation 1.